Good evening. That's quite a reception. Thank you very much for inviting me and Pam and our new executive director, Mark Baumforth, to this wonderful occasion. It's really wonderful. It's a privilege to be with you tonight for JCAA's 40th anniversary dinner. This celebration is one that honors the proud legacy of Jaffna College, but also the enduring spirit, as you've already heard this evening, of its graduates around the world. You and your JCAAO predecessors have been at that for 40 years. That is truly something to celebrate and to be proud of. And I understand that many of you have been busy with that celebration throughout the past week. Since its founding in 1872, Jaffna College has been a beacon of Christian education in Sri Lanka, nurturing both the mind and the soul. Jaffna College embodies a vision rooted in faith, learning, and service. For over 150 years, I'm going to move this way. For over 150 years, that vision has guided generations of students to lead with integrity, compassion, and purpose. Tonight, we again celebrate that living legacy, one that each of you carries forward and has guided generations of students as you've gone along. For trustees of Jaffna College Funds, or for short, TJCF, the organization that Mark and I have the honor to represent this evening, this legacy is both a sacred trust and a continuing mission. At TJCF, we see ourselves as stewards of the past, partners of the present, and believers in the future of Christian education in Sri Lanka. Since our founding in 1877, nearly 150 years ago, TJCF has supported Christian education in Sri Lanka with Jaffna College as our primary grant recipient. For any Udaville Girls College alumni who are here tonight, we proudly supported Udaville Girls College for over 50 years, since the 1970s. That partnership began at the request of the president of Jaffna College and continues with Jaffna College's support. TJCF's role has always been to provide resources and stewardship for those institutions to flourish, so the next generation and generations can experience the same transformative education that shaped so many of you. As a tax-exempt Massachusetts nonprofit corporation, TJCF is subject to U.S. national and state requirements governing our obligation to diligently assure what is termed due application of funds. In essence, that our grants are in fact spent for their intended uses, consistent with TJCF's corporate charitable purposes. I accepted the invitation of our former president, Ed Bedrosian, 9 years ago to become a board member of TJCF. And why did I accept that invitation? And why have I continued to serve on this board for now going on 9 years? The answer is Jaffna College's and Udaville Girls College's missions, and the Jaffna College and Udaville Girls College students and the student staffs. My commitment has certainly been reinforced by my interactions with Jaffna College alumni, such as yourselves, each of whom has stories attesting to the difference Jaffna College made in their lives. And I've heard many of those stories, and they're very heartening. The dedication of the Jaffna College alumni endures years later, as everyone in this room attests, wherever in the world those alumni find themselves. TJCF is also happy, I should mention, to have Ontario Association stalwarts Inbam and Bothajay Nithiraj and Nantha, Professor Nantha Kumar, who unfortunately was unable to be with us this evening, as members of our board of directors. Their contribution to our work has been considerable, including Inbaum's service as a liaison between TJCF and Jaffna College's principal. To quickly recap TJCF's history, most of TJCF's funds were raised between 1879 and 1906, a total of about $88,000 in that time period. The first donation came from the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions. The largest gift came from a man called Jesse St. John, who gave 100 shares of Standard Oil of California with a value at that time of about $42,000. That gift established the Daniel Poor Memorial Fund in honor of an early driving force in Jaffna College's history, Daniel Poor, who was Mr. St. John's father-in-law. Among other notable donors of cash were U.S. President Grover Cleveland and John D. Rockefeller, who in 1906 contributed $7,000 toward a new building on the campus of Jaffna College. From those humble beginnings of $88,000 over a century ago, through patient stewardship and long-term investing, led by TJCF's Committee on Finance and Investment, chaired by our treasurer, Mike Kellogg, who was with you for the Ontario Association's dinner last fall, the funds TJCF is stewarding have grown substantially. Over time, we've moved our investments entirely into publicly traded equities, also known as a stock market. We've done that not by picking individual stocks, but rather by investing in index funds, which hold a broad array of stocks, both domestic, that is, United States, and international. Some might ask, why all stocks? Isn't it safer to include bonds or invest just in bonds? And that depends on your time horizon. Most investors have a limited time horizon, but TJCF is a perpetual fund, meant to be everlasting, which allows us to think in decades, not years or months. Over long periods, stocks have delivered higher returns, and compounding those returns has been vital to our financial support of Jaffna College and our other beneficiaries. Over the past 10 years, our equities portfolio has gained value at a rate that has far exceeded what would have been realized with a mixed equities bonds portfolio or a portfolio consisting entirely of bonds. So, how do we determine the amount of our grants? Just to give you a quick background on that. To provide stability for the grant amounts over the years and decades and into the future, and to enable the equities-only investment approach, we calculate our annual grants based on a 10-year quarterly average of our asset values, that is, of the money that we are stewarding. That has the effect of smoothing out market swings and ensures a steady support year after year, even in years in which the stock market doesn't do so well. So over the past 20 years, despite ups and downs in the stock market, that 10-year average has never declined. It's grown. We then each year apply a withdrawal rate to that average to determine our grant budget. That rate, again, is intended to ensure that over time, the perpetual nature of the funds is protected by, by not eating too far into the principal in any one year, including in down market years. That ensures that we can live up to the expectation that these funds will persist in perpetuity, and that's something that we take quite seriously. Historically, the withdrawal rate was 3.5%, but for the last 2 years, with the resolution of the difficulties with Jaffna College and the litigation, in a spirit of renewed collaboration, we have raised that to 4.5% for 2025 and 2026. So, over the last decade, TJCF has distributed over $9 million US in grants for its beneficiaries. For 2026, we expect to distribute a total of $1.1 million, with about $650,000 of that, or about 60%, going to Jaffna College. That's the largest grant we have ever made. Beyond the annual operating support, which TJCF provides, led by Principal Rashira and Jaffna College Board of Directors Chair Vasaki, with involvement of TJCF's Executive Director Mark Baumforth, a working group is developing a multi-year plan to include improving campus facilities, ensuring that students have a safe, comfortable, and inspiring environment to learn and grow. In that connection, I want to mention a few developments at Jaffna College in which TJCF has been involved in the last 12 months or so, in addition to our contribution to the ongoing operating expenses. And I'll just list these out. We funded the renovation of the Bicknell Pavilion, funded upgrading of the sports field scoreboard, funded purchase of some classroom smart boards, some additional smart boards. Last year, the Jaffna College Board of Directors formed a subcommittee to analyze how best to proceed with the Jaffna College Institute of Technology. That subcommittee recommended last fall that the Jaffna College Board of Directors, that they terminate what was then the struggling and moribund Institute of Technology, and that they explore other uses for that property. TJCF advanced funds to pay severance costs for the remaining Institute of Technology staff and teachers, and the Jaffna College Board of Directors is at work planning the future of the investment of the Institute of Technology property. TJCF has insisted and continues to insist that Jaffna College have its financial statements audited. The audit process has met with some hurdles and has taken longer than we at TJCF would have liked, but audited financial statements and a management letter for 2023 have now been completed and received. We are told that audit of the 2024 financial statements will commence soon. Several of the Jaffna College buildings are in need of repair, renovation, or replacement. Next up is Howland Hall, the girls' hostel, and the boys' toilets building. And with TJCF's encouragement, the Jaffna College Board of Directors has formed an Education and Works Committee to oversee capital works projects. Mark Baumforth is TJCF's representative on that committee, and the committee is hard at work. Also, with TJCF's encouragement, the Jaffna College Board of Directors has formed a capital works audit committee to oversee payments for capital works projects. The Jaffna College Board of Directors has approved having the Works Committee collaborate with a consultant who is an experienced and registered or certified architect to assist Jaffna College in maintaining high standards in the building, contracting, and construction process for those renovation projects. Finally, Jaffna College, with TJCF's encouragement, hired a board accountant, Ronnie, who started this past January. Ronnie has been instrumental in upgrading Jaffna College's accounting function, in moving the audits along, and in other beneficial ways. While TJCF grants constitute a significant portion of Jaffna College's operating expenses, faithful stewardship of the perpetual fund that we steward does not permit us to fully fund Jaffna College's operation, nor would it be desirable or appropriate for us to do so. All the stakeholders in Jaffna College should have a financial stake in its operation and future, including, of course, Jaffna College's alumni. Alumni involvement and participation, including financial support, is something TJCF encourages and supports. We have been very pleased to see alumni, including alumni in this room tonight, stepping up. As your president has mentioned, TJCF is interested in considering proposals to participate in matching gifts to Jaffna College from alumni. Our treasurer, Mike Kellogg, when he spoke with you last fall, noted the matching gift programs can be very powerful. They let your generosity go further and have a greater impact on Jaffna College and its students, and they give TJCF an opportunity to work collaboratively with alumni groups. And we are very pleased that the JCAAO presented TJCF with an opportunity to participate with you in funding the Jaffna College Hospital Scholarship Program that your president mentioned just a few moments ago. TJCF has advanced some funds for that program, so those scholarships are already having a positive effect for hospital students in Jaffna College. And we're open to exploring with you and other alumni associations new matching opportunities for improvements at Jaffna College. In addition to encouraging alumni financial support, TJCF has been seeking to build working relationships with JC alumni associations, seeking your viewpoints, guidance, and participation as we together discern our way forward to the maintenance and betterment of Jaffna College. We have been particularly encouraged by the relationships that have developed with the Ontario Alumni Association and with those in Vaticudai, Colombo, and the UK. And as you have heard, I think, previously, after a gap of some dozen years, two TJCF delegations visited Jaffna last year, followed by two more this year. I was part of the first in the beginning of 2025, last year, the first group that went. That also included TJCF board members Inbom and Sharani Mills. We attended a sports day, cultural presentation, and a Jaffna College Board of Directors meeting, along with touring the campus, and we met with Alumni Association members in Colombo and Vaticudai. The latest group of TJCF visitors was in Jaffna just a month ago in June. That group included TJCF Secretary, the Reverend John Allen, two of our newer board members, Tracy Wood and Jude Safarson, a Jaffna College alum, and JCAAO's own Inbom. JC endures because of supportive communities like this one, alumni who care deeply, give generously, and live out the values of Jaffna College wherever life takes them. We live in a time of rapid change in Sri Lanka, here in Canada, in the US, and across the globe. Technology, economic change, and geopolitical pressures shape how young people think about purpose and about success. Christian education offers something timeless, a moral compass grounded in love, humility, and service. So, on behalf of the trustees of Jaffna College Funds, thank you for your steadfast support and your shared commitment for this great institution. Together, we are partners in a common calling to uphold the vision of Jaffna College and to ensure that its students continue to grow in faith, wisdom, and service. May Jaffna College continue to shine as a beacon of learning and a light for generations to come. Thank you again for having us, and thank you for listening.